So, students of plus 8 in the same lesson, my friend Luke. So far, we have learned something about Luke's dual character, a modest one as well as a very wicked one. Now, this one, what we are going to read now about that Luke. This is the concluding part of this lesson. The back seat is for 5 passengers. In spite of his very small size, Luke sits so as to allow room for only 4 or even 3 people on the seat. Now, the back seat used to have space for 5 passengers, but he would sit in such a fashion that there will be room for just 3 or 4 people. If 4 are already seated and Luke is standing up, he demands permission in an indignant and reproachful tone, as if he is scolding the people for sitting in that fashion without giving him a chance to sit there. So that is indignant and a reproachful tone to sit down, which he then does. Then he sits down, managing to take up an excessive amount of space. Then he takes excessive amount of space, more space. To this end, he puts his hands in his pockets. Now, how he does that? He puts his hands in his pockets so that his elbows will remain firmly embedded in his neighbor's ribs. Now, his elbows will be rested on the neighbor's ribs. Now, that will cause trouble to them. When he has to travel standing up, he always keeps his jacket unbuttoned. Now you can see he kept his jacket unbuttoned and carefully adjusting his posture so that the lower edge of his jacket hits the face or the eyes of those. So he keeps his jacket unbuttoned and stands in such a posture so that the lower edge of his jacket hits the face or the eyes of those sitting down. If anyone is reading, they are easy prey for Luke. Watching him or her closely, Luke places his head near the light so as to throw a shadow on the victim's book. He throws the shadow on the victim's book by placing his head against that light. Every now and then he withdraws his head as if by chance the reader will anxiously devour 1 or 2 words before Luke slides back into position. Now he plays with the Persian. He will actually change his position for some seconds, then again he will go into his original position to disturb the reader. So this much we have found in this slide. Let us move on to the next. So here it is. My friend Lick knows the times when the bus will be fully packed. Now he knows when the bus will be fully packed. On those occasions, he consumes a salami sandwich and a glass of red wine. Now what he takes there, sandwich and glass of red wine. Then with breadcrumbs and shreds of salami still between his teeth and pointing his mouth towards the other passenger's nose. Now he takes his uh, uh, mouth closer to other passengers' noses. He ambles up and down the vehicle, shouting loudly, "Excuse me." Now, if he manages to take the front seat, he never gives it up to anyone. But should he find himself in one of the last rows, the moment he sees a woman with a child in her arms or a weak elderly person climb on board, he immediately stands up and calls very loudly to the front passenger to offer them his seat. Now, the old person, when he sees and a woman with a child, then he will shout to the person at the front to give his or her seat to that person. Now, later he usually makes some reclamatory remark against those that keep their seats. Now he will say something against that habit of not giving their seats to those women and all persons. His eloquence is always effective. Now, at this time, his words are heard by everyone. He is eloquent, and some remark against those. And some mortally assent passengers slinks off as the next at the next stop. Instantly, Luke takes his place. Now, in the next stop is if a passenger gets off the bus, then he takes the seat instantly. So these are the behavior. My friend Luke gets off the bus in a very good mood. Timidly he walks home, saying, staying out of the way of anyone he meets. He is not allowed the key, so he has to ring the bell. If anyone is home, they rarely refuse to open the door to him. But if neither his wife nor Don Acquarantito are to be found, Luke sits on the doorstep until someone arrives. Now, this is the condition at home or after he gets off the bus. He has to ring the calling bell. Then, if anyone inside, then he or she will open the door. If they are not there, he will have to wait. Then he will have to sit on the doorstep until someone arrives. This is his fate at home. So this much we have learned about this person, Luke. Hope you loved it to learn something about a person's dual character. So this much in this presentation. We'll come up with new things in the next. Till that time, bye, students.